Hey, this is Scott with MechSavvy. I'm here at the Carter Engineering Facility in Tennessee to do an owner review of the new Handy 1200 series lift table. I'm not affiliated with Handy Industries and I don't sell the tables. I chose this table based on its features and my needs. I've been involved with off and on-road motorsports for almost 50 years. I'm a mechanical engineer and have professional service tech experience. In this review, I will cover the features and benefits of this lift table, as well as critique any shortcomings or improvements I'd like to see. If you're watching this review, you're probably considering purchasing your first table or replacing an older one. If you're a motorcycle enthusiast like me, you will love having a lift table. When reading related forum posts, the number one comment I see is, "I should have bought one sooner." The question then becomes, which one? Watch this video and hang around for my conclusions, which may help with your choice. Our table was shipped nicely shrink wrapped on a full-length pallet. Including the pallet, the SAM 1200 weighed 401 pounds. The table is shipped upside down to help protect the legs during shipping. You're going to need a couple of friends or a lift to get it unloaded and turned upright. Turn it over before removing the shipping strap. The table does come fully assembled. I've sped up the process some here. The table being reviewed today includes the optional wheel vise. The accessory wheel vise came fully assembled except for the included wheel pads. Attach the pads and then bolt the vise to the table in the provided holes. This is the Handy SAM 1200 lift table with the black legs. If you're curious, SAM is an acronym for Standard Airlift Modified. The 1200 series includes the Standard and the SAM models. The SAM model featured in this video has two main differences from the standard model. First, the table is a little longer, coming in at 84 inches versus the standard model's 80-inch table length. With the extra length, the longer SAM model gets some rear stabilizing feet for loading support. The second difference on the SAM model is it has a removable floor panel in the rear. This is to aid in dropping a rear wheel straight down from a bike that has a closed-in rear fender. Here in the shop, we also have the discontinued but very popular industry standard Handy 1000 lift. I'll be showing some differences between this reference table and the new 1200 series. For this review, you can tell which is which by the leg color. The newer model has black legs, and the old table's legs are gray. The 1200 series tables are Handy's new and improved basic lifts, which were introduced in late 2017. Still considered by many as the standard for lift tables, quality on this Handy model is also apparent. Loading a bike on this table is pretty straightforward. First, adjust the vise so it's close to the bike's tire width, release the safety lock, and lower the table. Roll the bike onto the lift, and while holding the handlebar, tighten the wheel vise. Handy recommends always securing it with tie downs, especially on a high lift table like this one. Next, let's go over the table. Aside from some general improvements over the old models, there's some features I've called the Big Three, new with the 1200 series. First up is the automatic ratcheting safety mechanism. This feature is now integrated into the table's top. It has dual springs that cause a ratchet action as the table is lifted. The lock has an automatic reset, so when it's flipped off for lowering, it auto resets to on at the bottom of the travel. Other tables at this price point use the hanging arm type safety bar, which engages a sawtooth on the lower leg. It can take some stooping and fiddling to get those where you want them, and you have to remember to release it or you have no safety catch. I really like this new design. It's a very nice improvement, as well as easier and safer. The second and most visible new feature is the air bellows, also called an air spring. I think this is the most interesting thing about the 1200 series. The industrial air spring is the lifting muscle of the table. The pneumatic cylinder you see on other tables is gone with the 1200 series. Also gone are the large cams on the legs that the cylinder's arms pulled against. Instead, the scissor legs are quietly lifted by this industrial air spring. It's maintenance-free with nothing to rust, unlike cylinder-based units. This mechanism is responsible for the table's increased capacity of 1,200 pounds, 200 more than the old standard models. This range is going to safely cover most any motorcycle on the market. Andy told me the bellows was tested to 25,000 cycles with no wear or issues before stopping testing. Even for a commercial daily user, that's over a 30-year lifespan to the still good test point. I have a typical portable 3-gallon 2 CFM 120 psi air compressor. It operated the loaded table to the midpoint without issue, but for the full height it took this very small compressor a minute to recharge before being able to go full height. I remedied this by adding an auxiliary air tank in line with my tiny compressor. A normal size, 10+ gallon air compressor will have no trouble. When unloaded, instantly applying full pedal will cause the table to come up quickly, and it can be a little bouncy unloaded and unlocked. A lighter touch on the pedal gave very good control. When loaded, even with a relatively lighter bike like this one, at full pedal it lifts smoothly and proportional to the foot pedal input. Here are the bellows pressures I measured in use. Loaded with a 500-pound bike, full height was 70 psi, half height was 50 psi. It only took 15 psi to go to the standard height unloaded. To demonstrate control, I'm raising the table to the second lock position, then lowering to the safety stop. I repeated this moving to the fourth lock position. I found this table easier to move to a specific height than the old design. The third new feature is the 40-inch lift height. This is the money shot. The camera is placed looking across the old 30-inch table to show the relative height of the 1200 series. This is the best feature for my needs. In my shop I use the table for motorcycle work, but I also need a comfortable, working height, general purpose work table. The old 30-inch desk height table is not as suitable for general standing work, or as good for bike maintenance either, in my opinion. This new extra height changes that and allows the table to go to a 36-inch counter height, and beyond that to a 40-inch, almost bar table height. From a usability perspective, this is a big deal, even enough to inspire an upgrade from an existing table. 1200 series has 6 different locking positions, 2 more than the typical table. The highest lock is at 39 1/4, and the rest are shown here. Finally, I'll cover the 1200 series general features and updates. It has new heavy-duty phenolic wheels. These are a change from the old steel wheels that could damage some floors. The SAM 1200 had pre-made tie-down holes up front that will accommodate a normal tie-down hook. I personally prefer removable eye bolts, which I can add, and I'm considering adding some P-track for adjustable tie points, but that's for a different review. The 1200 series have a textured black powder-coated finish on the legs and mechanics. The stock top color is gloss gray, but you can pick from black, blue, red, or orange for small upcharge. The powder coat is nicely done and durable. The top is made from real 12-gauge steel, which means it's a hair under 1/8 inch thick. The legs are made from 1/8 inch thick tubular steel. 1200 series has 12 easy access Zerk fittings, providing easy lube points for every location that pivots. Andy said the 1200 series has a new foot valve. It appears to be well made. The new ramp is reinforced underneath. It is 30 inches long, making it easier to load a bike and help prevent dragging. It is powder-coated gloss black and connects with 3 tabs into slots in the table. This is a change from the bent pin connection of other tables. For a sample long, low bike, a quick CAD sketch of Harley-Davidson's Heritage Classic shows it should clear the ramp by 5/8 of an inch. For me, besides wanting a table that was higher than the old model, I wanted a scissor leg model that had no frame on the floor like some of the higher capacity, more expensive lifts. When I'm not using the handy 1200, I can roll a regular old furniture dolly under the lifted legs. Lower the table onto the dolly and now it's fully rollable. That makes it trivial to roll and store the lift under my garage workbench. Another nice thing about this table is that I have confidence they will still be there if I ever have an issue. The Handy 1200 comes with a limited lifetime warranty. Check the Handy website for warranty details. I've covered all the great features, so to be fair, I'll give a constructive critique of a few little things that I wasn't a fan of. First, the lowest height on this table is 1 inch higher than the common height of 7 inches on similar tables. I currently own a Ducati Multistrada, which is a tall 500-pound bike. So for me, that's another inch of height I need to overcome to roll it on and off the table. I assume this extra height is due to the new mechanism, but in practice it's not a big deal since I'm able to load my bike without issue. Second, I'm not crazy about the tie-down slotted holes. Tie-down wants to bind and you lose some distance from the bike's center line. Their location interferes with the wheel vise if the vise is mounted in the rearward position. Related, there are several reasons to need a tie-down point in the central area of your table. I'd like to see some pre-made holes for mid-area tie-downs. My preference would be well nuts attached to the table, in the regular locations at least, for attaching anchor rings. That would allow an anchor ring to be quickly added or removed by hand wherever it was needed. This would add a lot of flexibility. The new foot valve is a momentary valve, which means it requires pressure to hold it on or off. I'd prefer a valve that would switch to off at least, so I could set it and forget it for lowering. But I expect this momentary action may be necessary for the bellows. I did a lot of research before choosing this table to review. Hopefully I've covered this table pretty well so you can have a virtual look before considering buying. From my research, I know there are several other options out there just under the 1200 capacity of this lift. Those include the imported foot pump hydraulic and the import 1,000 pound capacity pneumatics that are copies of the old handy 1000 lift. For those options, I saw some safety issues, a lack of convenience, marginal build quality in several areas, and an inability to source repair parts. None of them raised to the height of the 1200 series. The fact that they are cheap imports notwithstanding, the table height ruled them out for me. On the other end, price-wise, there are much more expensive lift tables with a variety of features and higher capacities, but those have the floor frame and capacities I don't need or want to pay for. In conclusion, the Handy 1200 series I've reviewed here is a high-quality table with a solid feature set. I could find little to complain about and all my issues were minor. It is a reliable table made in the USA with USA steel. They have been in business since 1964, so I'm comfortable I can get parts should I ever need one. At this price point, I give the Handy 1200 series an A rating. The table is available at motorcycle dealers, online companies, and they can be purchased direct from Handy, but I found the best street pricing on the internet. See my links on YouTube in the description for recommended places to buy. If you liked this video and want to see how we customize our table or any other related equipment reviews, please support us by liking and subscribing on YouTube. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this useful.